So, good morning, good evening, wherever you at. I was like, God, what do you want me to call this one? And so we're gonna call it Dear Black America. So, Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to do. Verse 28. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back tomorrow. I will give it to you when you have it with you. So what God is saying that we should not withhold good from those that is due. There are people that need our good. But first, let me tackle something. We've been doing Black Lives Matter, and we've been seeing signs, and we want white people to speak up, of saying white silence is violence, and we got to do our part too. And what do I mean by that? I've seen some videos that kind of disturbed me. I mean, I seen one guy walking around with a portable speaker, saying "F the police." That's not something positive. We need to speak up on that and not share that. We just seeing that, and again, not all cops are bad. So, that cop is staying there trying to do a job. Could be a decent cop, and we have a guy that's walking beside him, a black brother, walking beside him, recording it to put on Facebook, nodding his head, and it's being shared. We shouldn't be sharing stuff like that. If we expect white people to stand up with this, we got to stand up against our own people too when it's in the right mind, and let them know, hey, this is not the way to go, man. Like we're trying to diffuse something peacefully. That's not something that we need to do. And I bet you if you can talk to Ice Cube, he would probably say that's not something that we would want to do right now. So we got to stand up and do our part and be smart about it. Also too, I seen something about boycotting, which I understand. They're trying to do something as far as like boycotting major chains. You really wouldn't have to boycott these major chains if we were just doing like we did back in the old days when blacks had come together and they had their own businesses and they were supporting black owned businesses and things like that. You kind of went away from that. You look back into the slavery days, when they had, they took all their money, what they made, and they kept it in the black community, and things like that. So, but it is good. I mean, we got to go back to, getting that together as far as like, being a generation of taking care of, its own people. And then, you help others or anything like that. So we look at Galatians 6:10. Therefore, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to everybody and especially to the family of faith. So what I was looking at, we got to get back to kind of like Martin Luther King, how he had, peaceful protests and things to get done. And we got to, somebody that's can educate or advise us so that we are not, doing the wrong thing, but we're going about it the right way. I mean, seeing that the black community, that if you're, the number one race is spending stuff, and again, I always say it's only one human race, but I'm just talking about, black America. So if you're spending that much money, imagine if that was in black owned businesses or anything like that. And I mean, let's do our part to make this a better world. When you have, Michael Jordan, to bring an example, spending millions and millions of dollars in the prisons, like you said, those are the people that are buying his shoes are the ones that are going to prisons and going to jail, and getting locked up and trying to fight over his shoes and things like that. I mean, he's a businessman. So he's going to sell his shoes and, in prisons or something like that. So we talking about something boycotting, but that's a whole another topic that I'll get on. But let's just look at it today. We see people, then we come out of jail, and there's nothing for them. There's just not a job, and there's not anything as far as like, if they do get something, it's the minimum wage. So you look at somebody that was a hustler, that was selling drugs, that was making decent type of money, according to them, and they come out and there is no job for them. So imagine if we had these black owned businesses, they can come out and we can say, hey, we can give them a job that's a little bit more than minimum wage, that's going to give them an opportunity to sit here and make a decent living. If you give them like a 90-day trial or whatever, and you say, what, if you do this, we can increase your pay or whatever like that. So we can have something to give people a second chance. I mean, we've all sinned. That's what it said. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That's the opportunity that we can do. We can give somebody an opportunity to come out of prison, instead of come out of jail and have a better living. So, they can do better, because people that come out in prison, and they don't find a good job or they get talked about or anything like that, they're more likely to go back to the streets, or they're more likely to go back to what they know and at least make some decent money or anything like that. So if we already had that, again, we wouldn't be needing to do all this boycotting. But you got to put it back to the way it was, kind of like the way Martin Luther King, and that's what we need. This generation's Martin Luther King. And again, I don't even mind doing that if that's what y'all want me to be. To go ahead and do that, to advise us in a way, get to the point where we're not being sold out, to just money, doing whatever that we need to do. And, we look at Malachi 2:1, woe to those who scheme iniquity, who work out evil on their beds. When morning comes, they do it for in the power of their hands. So God will worry about them. But again, I challenge everybody, and it was beautiful to see, Chris Paul, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, to see him standing up there, talking or anything like that. It was a beautiful thing to see them, and it's just like, what can we do, better as people, to do what needs to be done. It's like we challenge them. You have LeBron James, Chris Paul, Serena Williams, Layla Ali, Usher, Stephen Curry, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Gabrielle Union, Sanaa Lathan, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, I can go on down the line, but just imagine if we had these, black-owned businesses and we was teaching people how to run their business. Some people say, I tried black-owned businesses, man. Some people we can't. They have to be educated. It says, Hosea 4:6, God said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because you have rejected the knowledge. Some of these people aren't taught, and if, you own something and then you allow somebody to bring a business establishment in there and it's a black-owned business, teach them how to treat people, teach them how to treat customers so that it's not a one-time thing. I remember when I used to sell movies, and I had other competitors, and my thing was not to beat people. My thing was to have repeat customers. I don't want to just beat somebody for $20 and go about my business, even with DJing. I treat people so they can come back. They can be like, I like the way I've been treated. So therefore, when I do open up businesses, because when I stopped hustling with the movies, people would trust me because they'll be like, what? I trusted him with the movies and I can trust him with this business or whatever like that. And that's what we got to do. We got to do our part to make this a better a better country, a better world. And we can do that. I mean, we can eliminate a lot of things, like I said, I know it's going to take time, but imagine if we do that and we teach people how to run business. I mean, people have a business mind, but, the thing is, making your business last, and then when you have that reputation, people are going to spend more money. And, like I said, that's what we should do as far as with our money, of investing it in that and creating jobs for those that come out, and then making a better place for this for this world. And like I said, again, that's why I titled it Dear Black America, so there is definitely some things that we can do, like I said, to have those businesses to be able to do that. I seen what it was. They showed I think it was a black-owned bank, but 8,000 customers or something crazy. And it's like, that's what they should have been doing a long time ago, And it's like, you just ain't got to boycott one single thing, but, you put your money somewhere to help make this world a better place. I mean, because something has to change, Again, and what they're saying, like I said, definitely we got to do our part. And like I said, if we see something that's not right, then speak up. We expect white people to speak up, about, the cops and things like that, and they're speaking up and standing with Black Lives Matter. We got to do our part too, and saying that, these videos that are being posted, I mean, don't share them or say, listen, man, this is not something that should be shared. We got to speak up. We expect them to speak up, so we should speak up as well too, and not share these videos and be looking at what you're doing. We don't want to promote violence, saying that can spark something, because if that kid, whoever that kid was, whoever that individual was, if that cop would have jumped on him, we'd have been like, he was wrong, what I'm saying, for jumping on him. But what about putting yourself in a position, And we have to teach our children, we have to teach, adults, we have to teach our siblings, our family, how, when the police pull you over, how to show respect for authority, and yeah, you have rights, but, I hear people say, you just want to come home, Again, I already have my stuff handed out. We just have to be taught, we have to be taught, and we have to teach others how to do that. Listen, this is what you do when authority comes. Of course, you might not like the cops, whatever. Yeah, they have bad reputations, but listen, there are some good cops that care. And there are cops, like I said, I've been pulled over be times, and I mean, was very nice cops, like, making sure that everything was okay. And one time I was trying to hurry up and go somewhere. I was going a little bit over the speed. It wasn't about a lot, but it was 10 miles. He's like, just make sure everything is okay. That you're, not rushing to where you got to go. And I'm like, I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? But we don't share a lot of that. We share a lot of the negative and bad stuff, man. And so today, that's why I wanted to call it Dear Black America. I'm definitely going, make one where I say Dear America. But like I said, this is something that I wanted to do. And again, like I said, we have to be taught and to share, And again, there are some people that might not want to be able to speak up and say these things, but these things have to be said. So, and I'm gonna say it. That's what God was showing me. Respecting, white people to say something about these Black Lives Matter, and we should say something to the blacks that are trying to promote violence. That's not the thing. It wasn't the right thing to do down in Dallas. Innocent cops have I think two people got injured. So I mean, so what do you say? To the guy that was shooting him, I apologize. I was trying to shoot white cops. I wasn't trying to shoot black cops. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we definitely got to do better. And like I said, we can definitely do that and make this world a better place. And people that come out of prison can have another chance or a second chance and do better. I mean, this is the world we live in. So, all right, that's it for today. God bless.